There is a kind of love that does not grow amid cheers. It does not come through open declarations, nor is it reinforced by bold words. This kind of love is born in silence, slow, restrained, and full of caution. It lives in the unspoken moments, in the glances that linger too long to be called coincidence, and in the breaths that are held every time the distance between two people narrows. And now, that is the story that binds Yu and Tian Xuning. From the beginning, there was something different about their relationship. It wasn't because of what they said, but because of what they didn't say. There was a clear feeling present, but it was kept hidden by both of them. There was a real attraction, but it was held back with full awareness. Yu and Tian Xuning seemed to be in a silent agreement. They knew, they felt, but they chose to stop just before everything became too obvious. Yu was known as a calm, controlled person who rarely let his emotions show. But around Tian Xuning, his defenses slowly weakened. His gaze often softened without him realizing it. His smile appeared more quickly, then held back, as if he was reminding himself not to go too far. There was an unusual slight nervousness, not because he was awkward, but because he cared too much. Tian Xuning, on the other hand, displays a different form of restraint. He does not hide his warmth, but he manages it carefully. Every bit of attention he gives to Yu feels deliberate, yet controlled. He approaches, then stops. He is present, but not demanding. It is as if he knows that one excessive emotional touch could open a door they are not yet ready to enter. Between them, body language became the most honest language. When Yu spoke, Tian Xuning listened with complete focus, as if the world around him faded away. When Tian Xuning laughed, Yu turned her head unconsciously, capturing the moment with an expression she couldn't fully control. They may have held back their words, but their bodies continued to tell the story. What made this story even more poignant was their awareness of the situation. They were not two people who were blind to the consequences. They knew there were boundaries that could not be crossed, that there were risks too great if those feelings were allowed to run free. Precisely because of that, every moment together felt emotionally charged. Every second seemed to be filled with the same question: how long could these feelings be held back? Several times, Yu seemed to almost give in. There were moments when his expression was so honest that it was difficult to deny. His eyes spoke louder than he wanted them to. But every time that happened, he pulled back, rebuilding the wall that had collapsed. He chose to remain silent, not because he felt nothing, but because he felt too much. Tian Xuning understood this better than anyone. He saw Ziyu's inner conflict, and he chose not to add to her burden. His love did not manifest in the form of encouragement or demands, but in patience. He waited, and waiting is the quietest, most exhausting, yet most sincere form of love. He was there for Yu without ever asking her to move faster. Fans clearly captured this emotional tension. It was not a fabricated tension, but one born of real feelings. Every interaction between them felt like a scene held back just before the climax. There was anticipation, there was hope, and there was a subtle pain of knowing that they wanted each other, but chose to hold back. Their romance is not loud. It does not come in grand gestures or sweet words. It lives in the small details. The way Tian Xuning adjusts his pace to match Ziyu's, the way Yu turns her head every time Tian Xuning speaks, the way the silence between them feels comfortable, not awkward. This is a love that grows from togetherness, not from showmanship. There are moments when Tian Xuning looks tired, and Yu is the first to notice the change. He doesn't ask questions, doesn't draw excessive attention to it, but his presence changes, closer, calmer, more caring. Conversely, when Yu looks fragile, Tian Xuning is the invisible anchor, keeping Yu from drowning in his own thoughts. However, holding back does not mean that feelings stop growing. Quite the opposite. The more they are suppressed, the deeper they become. Every day they spend together adds a new layer of emotion. They learn about each other, understand each other's rhythms, and unconsciously build a safe space that only the two of them share. There is a fear that always lurks behind it all. The fear of losing the balance that already exists. The fear that one confession could change everything. The fear that if they were honest, they would have to part ways. These fears are what keep them holding back, even though their hearts grow heavier. But true feelings cannot be hidden forever. They will emerge in small cracks, in leaked expressions, in spontaneous reactions that are not filtered. And now, those cracks are becoming more frequent. Their gazes are becoming harder to avert. Their smiles are becoming more honest. The silence between them is becoming more meaningful. Yu and Tian Xuning are at a fragile crossroads. On one side, there is comfort in holding back, in keeping everything safe. On the other, there is a growing desire to stop pretending, to be honest, to admit that what they feel is not just ordinary companionship. Perhaps they're not ready to take that step today. Perhaps they still need time to come to terms with their own fears. But one thing cannot be denied: love is already there. It lives, breathes, and grows between them. And that is what makes this story so captivating. Not because of what has happened, but because of what is about to happen. Because of the tension that continues to pulsate beneath the surface. Because of two hearts that have fallen for each other, know each other, but choose to hold back in order to protect something they consider precious. Yu and Tian Xuning may never stand before the world to admit everything. But the world has seen enough. Enough to understand that this is no coincidence. This is not just a fleeting moment. This is a story of restrained love, the most painful, yet most beautiful kind of love. Love that is not shouted out loud, but felt with all one's heart. And now, even though they are still trying to hide it, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. These feelings are too real to continue to be hidden.